Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to Tickzon Scheme, where we try to turn our hindsight into your foresight. My name is Ugo, your name is Blessed, and in the video today, we're going to be talking about how you can avoid lifestyle creep. Now, I don't know why I did it like a reverse, whatever. But now to start off, first of all, we're going to be talking about how you can avoid lifestyle creep. But to start off, I want you to understand what lifestyle creep is. Now, lifestyle creep is something that naturally happens to a lot of us in a lot of our lives. And lifestyle creep is essentially that when your standard of living increases as, let's say, your income is increased, or how your expenses have increased with, whether that be your discretionary income, or your just standard of living is increased according to your wages or your income coming in increasing, and sometimes it increases to the point of which it surpasses what you're bringing in. And so, relatively speaking, this is the reason why people can have an increase in income, but relatively speaking, they're living at the same standard of living in terms of they still have the same amount of savings, they still prioritize the same things because everything goes up in proportion. Now, it's a very important, this is a very easily observable with people who coming from uni, leaving uni, into their first job. There's typically a lifestyle creep. Typically, or if you've not been working for a long time, there's a lifestyle creep. Or if you've not had part-time jobs here or there, and this is your first permanent job, or you've had a salary increase, there's a lot of lifestyle creeps. You would think that, let's say at 27k you were working fine and you were actually all right with the money, and then when you turn and start having 33k, then somehow for the extra 6k that you're now making, you somehow find a reason for that money to be spent. Now, lifestyle creep is one of those ones that can happen. As they say, it creeps up on you and you don't actually recognize it. It's almost, it starts off from getting that one paycheck, and then it's like, oh yeah, I can, give you £10 here or there. I can buy this takeout extra food. I can go from 2 takeouts to 3 takeout, and little things start creeping up on you, and then you start taking things for granted and start not really knowing where your money is going. Now, one of the most important ways, two kind of the most important ways for you to able to avoid or stop lifestyle creep is to do one of the things that you've probably not been doing, which comes down to the word management. And this is more of how you manage your time and how you manage your money. I'll tell you why those two things are correlated. I would always say I can see your priorities in your life with how you manage your time and your money. Those are your two things that show me what is important to you. And so, why I say management of your time and your money is that, maybe let's say in uni when you're low-key broke, you weren't going out as much because you were, let's say, or if you're working, let's say you're not going to uni, but you're working a lot for rent or whatever, you're not making a lot of money, then you're not really going out a lot. You're finding your other things to do to fill in your time. You're doing more in terms of working to save and to pay for your rent or clear debt, or all those kind of things. You have a set goal in mind. But once you move from that level now to now having a bit more money, because you don't have to work as much in terms of getting rent. A lot of people switch from the habits that they had that was keeping them afloat to now going to be like, oh, I don't have to work too much, so I can start enjoying. And it's typically the switch when you go from surviving at your current level to thriving at your current level. Sorry. So when you switch from thriving, surviving at your current level to thriving, it's typically a subtle shift that most people don't recognize, and it's only by virtue of you managing your time and your money that you'll be able to negate it. Now, first and foremost, one of the easiest ways to kind of manage lifestyle creep is, whenever there's a big change in your life, especially financially, do not change your lifestyle for at least 3 to 6 months. This is the same thing I would say if you were to win the lottery tomorrow. If you win the lottery tomorrow, then it's best for you, let's say you won £1,000,000. The best thing for you to do is actually lock away that money for the first 6 months. Digest that you've actually got this money. Digest, process it, and actually like internalize, okay, I now have this money, I now have this new standard, how am I going to do it? Because one of the reasons why lifestyle creep happens is that it's almost an instant reward. There's no real delayed gratification within your process. So immediately you get this £1,000,000 now you're like, okay, I can pay for this, I can pay for this, I can help this person, I can do this, and then that's the reason why majority of millionaires or lottery winners end up broke afterwards. And so in order for you to manage lifestyle creep is for you to first of all manage your time and your money as it is now. So you need to know what the current level of your time is. So first of all, this would be for you to budget. This would be for you to schedule your time and try and see where do you actually use your money and where do you actually use your time. And so when you now come into, getting extra £300 a month, £600 a month, you can now, more diligently, more diligently avoid losing track of your money, because especially when we have a lifestyle creep, we get a promotion, we get an extra job, or we now start working from not working. Sometimes our expectations for how far our money can go is actually devoid of reality. So it's like, oh, I'm now working full time now I can fly out 4 times this year. Look at your bank balance, budget it out. If you actually see, a lot of people, what happens, they go on a big holiday and then they come back and then there's 2 months of like struggling back to where you were before the lifestyle creeped and before the money goes up. And so if you don't handle it well, you very quickly go back to the lifestyle you're used to. And this thing called the velocity of money. The velocity of money is how quick the money leaves your hand and changes hands. And there's this theory out there that one of the reasons why a lot of lottery people end up losing most of their money is that they will continue spending on their money until they reach a level until they're psychologically able to handle, which is you're comfortable, even though it's a struggle life to some extent, you're comfortable with it, you're used to it. So now this extra money, you can't handle it, and that's the reason why it's not a measure of how much you make, it's a measure of how much you keep that defines on how far you can get in terms of your wealth journey. And so one way to avoid lifestyle creep is by budgeting, managing your time. So when your lifestyle increases, don't in terms of a wealth point of view, that shouldn't directly correlate to you increasing the number of times you're going out, the number of times you're buying gifts, the more expensive gifts, the more cars you're doing, because most times it's exponential. The rate at which you're spending is probably not gonna keep up with how much you're making unless you're making drastic. And so it's very important that once you have a new increase in lifestyle, that maybe you want to quickly celebrate it small, but I would say for the first 3 months to 6 months, don't do anything. Digest the fact that you have this money, put the extra money away. You don't, if this, for some of you, you only found out last week you're going to get a raise and somehow you've already figured out how to spend the money. No, just for the next 3 to 6 months, pretend like that money didn't even exist. And then just now, naturally, you will now get accustomed. Look, I'm making this money, I'm actually saving this extra amount of money. And then you go from a point of saving and reducing your savings to now add into your actual general discretionary spend in order for you to now be able to manage that. But the only way to defeat lifestyle creep is to try and manage the way you manage your time and your lifestyle. A lot of people, they get their new job and then they start buying all the gifts, start buying all the things, and then forget to save, forget to budget, forget to watch how much they're spending. And I've put in other videos in terms of like how to manage your money, how to manage your accounts, how much you manage your time for you to, in order to avoid lifestyle creep. So one of the easiest ways to do it, and I'll speak about more other ways in other videos, but one of the easiest ways to do it is budgeting your money, managing your time. In the average on a week, you can see how much you actually, on a monthly basis, see how much you spend in certain categories, whether that be taxis or whatever. It always starts with just one thing. Oh yeah, don't worry, Uber is £50, that's all right, light work. And then that's how the thing kind of creeps up. So one of the best ways that when you get a new job, a new promotion, a new thing that is threatening for lifestyle creep to come in, take your time. And also, in the same sense of not managing your time and your money, manage your circles and your influences, because a lot of people get new money or get more money and then they end up finding themselves in circles that will make them that will make them spend more. Just that's it. You start rolling with the big boys, now you have to spend like the big boys, but you don't have the money like the big boys, and then your pride and ego is making you want to do like big boys, and then you're looking at night at your bank account, deep breath, you come outside, put fake, and then you come out to everybody. And the last but not the least way to deal with your lifestyle creep is something that is kind of like a two-pronged approach. It comes from probably a little point of actually I'll do two things to end. It comes from a bit of anxiety around money, and that is so it's more like manage your time, manage your money, but also manage yourself. FOMO. a lot of people have a lifestyle creep because of FOMO. You don't really know how to say no, and especially that you now feel you have some money now, you want to jump into every party, every motive, see your friends every day, come around here, move around, yeah, all day. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know, I was feeling myself for a second. But yeah, lifestyle creeps comes because now you have FOMO. And so because of that, you don't want to miss anything. All my days, but money did, and so now you have a little bit more money. You feel like you can stretch yourself more, make it to every motive, but you have to be sensible about it because it's still you that will have to carry the burden of all those, nights out, drinks, transport, Ubers, car, fuel, all those things. It all adds up. So you have to deal with your FOMO in order to deal with your lifestyle creep. And the last but not the least, similar to dealing with FOMO, is that you also need to deal with your anxieties around money. And why do I say this is that I remember somebody was saying something around like why rappers, or especially in America, would always buy chains, waste all their money on all these goods, whether that be Bugattis, Lamborghinis, whatever. But there's a theory around that, when you grow up without certain things, when you're, or let's say in this, you're poor, you've been struggling for money, when you now get money, you typically try to surround yourself with the things that represents that you have money. So if you don't feel, it's almost like if you don't feel like you're free, you surround yourself with the things that symbol freedom. If you don't feel for example, cute or sexy, then you surround yourself with things that will make you feel that if you had this, it would also social proof for you that I'm sexy or whatever. So it's like, to have the hottest girl or hottest guy, then that's kind of a social proof for this. To have the Birkins and the Lamborghinis is social proof for me to say that I am rich. And this typically comes from a place of like we didn't have, or we weren't that person, or growing up I was struggling for money, so now I have money. I remember I heard this literally, was it yesterday or something like that? I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? It needs to be shared. He said something mad. You know them ones where somebody says something, your eyes open. He said, I remember it. He said, if you want to spend without looking at the price tag, you need to be able to work without looking at the clock. And I was like, I need to say it again. If you want to spend money without looking at the price tag, you need to be able to work without looking at the clock. And, in proportion in that sense is that, work hard, play hard. And so, it's like, don't essentially deal with your anxieties around money, particularly if you came from a place of have not, in order for you that when you do have money, you don't end up squandering it because you feel like growing up, you grew up with less because you didn't have this Bugatti, you didn't have, other kids could buy this XYZ, so now you have money, you're gonna buy all those kind of things. Even if you want to do those things, take the time to digest the new level of wealth that you're in order to ease your way into it so that it's better sustainable for you, your family, and your future. That's the reason why a lot of people have money, get money quick. And as quick as they adjust to the money is as quickly as you're going to lose it. So deal with your anxieties around money, or deal with the context in which you view money within your life, especially if you came from a place where you didn't have much. Maybe you saw friends going on holidays, now you have money, you want to go on every holiday, and that's the reason why you're not thinking about saving, you're not thinking about retirement, you're like, I'm young and all these kind of things. And so all of these things contributing to you why you've allowed lifestyle creep to come in, and by the time you realize that your lifestyle creep, for some of you, is too late, and now you're doing catch up. And now, as much as you've been paying for things without looking at the price tag, you will be forced to work without looking at the clock. So that's been the video today, how to hopefully identify, understand, and avoid lifestyle creep. If you still start seeing that your spending goes up, if you start seeing that your everything in your lifestyle's going up, you're going out more, you're sleeping less, you're eating more, you're going out buying things outside more, then you understand that your life is starting to creep. And the question is, are you keeping up with what you're supposed to be doing in order to give yourself a sustainable life? Is whether one's lifestyle creep can be sweet, but then as quick as you go up, as quick as you go down, and hopefully for you keep going up. So that's the end of the video. Invest in yourself, your health, and your wealth, and take care of yourself, guys. Try to do one act of random kindness here today and every day, because that's how we change the world. So hit a like, subscribe, and hopefully I've opened your eyes small, of lifestyle creep. And remember, nothing managed, nothing measured. If you're not managing what it is right now, then you won't be able to stop it. Give yourself time to adjust. You know, deal with your FOMO, deal with the context of how you view money, and yeah, try your best to kind of avoid lifestyle creep. Yeah, yeah, that's it.